Welcome to day 5 of the Gratitude Explosion. This is just continuing to be more and more of a joy for me as I see so many amazing comments go through Facebook and see all kinds of transformations that people have had, both online and also privately, where people are letting me know really extraordinary things they've noticed in their lives. So for the last couple days, you've been noticing more and more opportunities to incorporate joy, love, and connection, all of those beautiful things that are around you already in your life. And today we're going to widen the circle a bit and start to notice that even inside those things that are dark and scary or annoying, there's often joy and light available for us. Now, the easiest place for me to see this is in people. I have to laugh. You got to laugh at the human experience and at yourself sometimes, right? I notice how often I can just fall into hallucinating what other people are thinking, feeling, and experiencing, and what it must mean about me. I suspect a lot of you do that too. I know I've done this plenty through my life. The example, recently the clerk at the grocery store was being so rude to me. They didn't even look up and say hello when I went through the line. Ever done that? You make somebody else's experience all about you when chances are there was something totally different going on for them. Maybe that guy had a fight with his boss, or he was tired, or he was feeling sad that day. The list goes on, and chances are it had almost nothing to do with me. So what I get curious about is what happens when we begin to widen our experience of the person or the situation that's irritating us and embrace more than what we see. When we appreciate the hard work they're doing, whether it's the hard work they're doing for us or just the hard work they're doing to get through the day, or when we notice something about them that's beautiful, or even just offer them a silent blessing to see with the eyes of compassion, knowing that they have struggles that we don't know anything about. All of a sudden, we're generating more of the internal experience that's gonna let us have an amazing day. So today we're gonna embrace the wider truths of what are going on in situations that we encounter, especially the ones that really bug us and pop us out of that gratitude space. So you can pick whether it's a person or an event, and we're going to use the phenomenal work of Byron Katie. She's got to be one of the best people that I've seen in this area. She asks 4 powerful questions in the body of work that she calls The Work she's developed, and I just totally encourage folks to go read any of her books. They're all just amazing, or watch her videos on YouTube, go to one of her events. So she asks these 4 powerful questions that have become longtime friends for me, and I want to invite you to ask these questions of any situation in your life as well where things are getting you bugged. So I'll walk you through these. So pick a situation for you that's been bugging you, that's popping you out of that gratitude state. And I want you just to notice, what's the meaning you're making of that situation? What is this really showing up as for you? Because if somebody's being quote unquote irritating, and you're going, oh, it means they love me, that's a really different experience. It means they're not listening to me. It means they don't care about me. It means that they're frustrated with me. It means they're going to leave me. It means they're going to fire me, right? We make up all these stories. So pick a situation for you, notice what the meaning is, and I'll walk you through a quick example and the 4 questions. So for me, I recently had a really weird situation happen with someone that I was meeting for the first time. I walked into this meeting really excited, and I'm kind of an excitable person. You can probably figure that out. I have a lot of respect for their work, and I was like, great, I get to meet with this person and interact. And in talking with her, she seemed really hostile with me, and I was super confused. I started running through, what could I have said to have created this? What did I do wrong? Is there something about me that she doesn't like? We all have these tendencies. So I dropped out of that gratitude state that I'd started in and started to look for all the ways that something was wrong with the situation. And then somehow, by miracle, these questions started to filter through my head. Now, the first question Byron Katie asks is it true? Now, we're going to ask that about the meaning we made about it. So is it true, for example, that this woman doesn't like me? Okay, I don't know. So I'm going to say no. It's not necessarily true, but it could be, so maybe yes. You can say yes or no. So I'm not sure. I'm on the fence. So then we ask the second question, which is, can you absolutely know that it's true? Well, the answer is no. I can't actually know if she doesn't like me just because she's being a little hostile or a little angry. Maybe she had something bad to eat before I was talking. Maybe she had a really weird experience that's been bothering her. Maybe she's having a physical ailment. I have no idea. So I can't really know anything that's true unless maybe I ask her, right? So that might open some opportunity. So the third question is, how do you react, or what happens when you believe this thought? And it's funny because I could feel myself in this conversation contracting, getting small, going into this place of defendedness. Like, ooh, this is not necessarily a safe place. I don't think this person really necessarily wants to see me or be with me. And I've got to love what Byron Katie says. She says, defense is the first act of war. So as soon as I start walling myself off, especially if I have no idea what's really going on for that other person, I'm blocking any possibility for something happening. Just a thought. You don't have to judge yourself for that. But just notice, I'm like, okay, if I start defending, I stop there being a possibility for something to happen here that I might like. And then the final question she asks is, who would you be without that thought? And what got really interesting to me is I thought, well, who would I be without that thought? I would be not worried if she liked me or didn't like me. I would just be curious about why she was having this reaction and noticing what could happen differently. Because honestly, we didn't know each other well enough for her to have any real reaction to me like that. So all of a sudden, in my experience, as I went through this process, I began to see the humor in this first interaction. I'm not saying I necessarily enjoyed it and I want to go back for more, but I didn't have to hold on to it and make it about me. Notice as you go through this process, if you start to release some, you start to go, well, as long as I don't know the exact story, as long as I don't really know the truth, I can't hold on to what I'm perceiving quite so tightly. And then from there, I started to marvel that humans are actually ever able to communicate with all the stories that we're carrying around in our heads that we're not sharing with other people. All the people that we're interacting with from our past that aren't the person we're actually talking to. And somehow we do still manage to communicate and build amazing relationships and connections and create a lot of joy in the world. So what a gift it is to be human and be able to communicate even in the midst of all that. So going through these questions really allowed for a much bigger embrace of the experience. So I want you just to play with these 4 questions. Walk through them. You might spend a little time with them. You can write them down. They're really easy. Is it true? Can you absolutely know it's true? How do you react when that happens, when you believe that thought? Or, sorry, how do you react? What happens when you believe that thought? And 4, who would you be without that thought? So try those 4 questions out on anything that's popping you out of gratitude and see what happens. You may have a totally different experience of the experience, and you actually may just decide you're going to change something up. Like you might go, oh, okay, I don't need to hold on to that person, but I don't need to make this some big deal. So I think this will pop you back into gratitude a lot faster. Hope you love these questions and the work of Byron Katie as much as I do. Have a beautiful day, and I'll look forward to seeing you in the next video.